The ocean is a pretty dangerous place to be. There are so many things in those deep waters waiting to kill you in strange and unusual ways that we haven't even discovered them all yet. And still, even with all those deadly animals, sharks have been crowned the king of the deep. They can probably thank a handful of iconic films for helping them along with their reputations, though. Shark attacks are actually relatively rare, and it's even more rare to die from a shark attack. In today's video, we'll go over everything you need to know so you are not one of the few people who die from a shark attack. So pay close attention. In 2021, only 73 unprovoked shark attacks were recorded worldwide, resulting in only 11 deaths. You are actually more likely to be killed by a lightning bolt, a dog, or by taking a selfie in a stupid place. But none of those statistics are very comforting when you find yourself face to face with a real-life great white and its multiple rows of teeth. So, if you're caught in open waters with a shark circling you, how do you escape? How do you avoid getting yourself into that terrifying situation in the first place? And, most importantly, if a shark bites you, how do you survive? Let's start by helping you keep out of the shark's way in the first place. Sometimes, we all like a little adrenaline rush, but playing shark-based Russian roulette isn't a good idea. There are more than enough expert tips out there to limit your interactions with sharks. The first tip might seem a little obvious, but stay away from the areas where sharks like to hang out. They enjoy deep waters and entrances to harbors. They also love any areas where fishermen are working. They can smell the bait from astounding distances and will come looking for it. Sharks also love contaminated waters. But if you need the threat of sharks to keep you out of areas where sewage is being pumped into the ocean, you probably can't be saved by this video. Another pretty obvious tip is to stay out of the water at beaches where shark attacks are pretty common, but it's not always that easy. Suppose there isn't handy information about the area's shark population to help you. In that case, you can also use your own deductive powers to work out if there might be sharks nearby. If there are loads of seals around, shoals of fish feeding in the water, or flocks of seabirds diving in and out of the water in one spot, it's likely a shark is nearby looking for lunch. Sharks are also most active from sunset to sunrise, so stick to swimming pools if you're looking for a night swim. You wouldn't think that the weather would be an important consideration, but it actually makes a huge difference. Getting in the water during or after a storm is very dangerous. The stormy weather churns up the water, making it cloudy and swirling the fish around. Sharks will go hunting for the fish, but they won't be able to tell the difference between you and their prey in the cloudy waters. The same goes for the muddy waters around river mouths. So you followed all the tips to stay away from sharks. Great! The next step is to avoid attracting them to your safe area. You need to learn how to avoid this, so keep watching. We all need a few friends who have our back, especially when it comes to avoiding sharks. They're not likely to approach you if you're in a group. You're much more vulnerable on your own, so stick close to other people. But as much as we all love our furry friends, it's best to not include them in this case. Animals swim pretty erratically, and this wild splashing around often attracts sharks. You should never splash around in the water either. It's all fun and games to you, but sharks will see you as easy prey. Staying in a group helps with another tip too. Remember how we mentioned sharks like contaminated water? Well, some experts say peeing in the water might attract them to you. Hopefully, if you're close to other people, you won't do that anyway. And the classic tip is also true. Don't bleed in the water. If you injure yourself, get out of the sea. Your group of friends shouldn't care what you're wearing, but sharks actually do. That expensive jewelry and sparkly bikini look like fish scales to sharks. Also, the red rag to a bull trope might be a myth, but it's definitely true when it comes to sharks. Avoid any bright colors, especially orange and yellow. They help sharks spot you in the water. Clothing is actually so important that scientists are experimenting with special wetsuits that mimic poisonous fish to keep sharks away from surfers. But let's say you've done everything right and you still accidentally find yourself face to face with the ocean's apex predator. After all, shark attacks definitely do happen, no matter how rare they are. What can you do to make sure you survive this horrifying ordeal? The first tip is a classic: don't panic. I know it's easy to say that now, but it's not so easy to stay calm when a real shark is circling you, but it might just save your life. Staying completely still if a shark gets close to you is best chance. They're probably just minding their own business anyway. If you panic and start frantically swimming away, you're guaranteed to put the shark into attack mode, and there's no way you're beating it to the shore. Here comes the crazy part. Keep watching. Instead, try the opposite of running away. Confront the shark. Of course, sharks often won't even look at you, but if they're curious, It helps to be assertive. Sharks respond to this type of confidence, similar to dogs. Don't be aggressive with the shark. You definitely don't want to provoke it, but do maintain eye contact and stay calm. You might even be able to gently push one away if it approaches. Don't pick a fight, but do show it you're a predator as well, and you're not going to stay docile if it threatens you. And if the worst happens and it does attack you, attack it back. This is the best chance you've got. Playing dead definitely doesn't work on sharks. It only helps them out. Do whatever you can to escape, but maintain your composure. Attacking it can make the shark change its mind about eating you, so do whatever you can to land a punch. The nose, eyes, and gills are your best options. Hit them as hard as you can. Being punched in the nose isn't the kind of thing you'd come back for more of, and the shark won't like it either. If you manage to convince the shark to leave you alone, get back to shore as fast as you can. Hopefully, at that moment, you won't have any serious injuries. Sharks often bite because they're curious, and without any hands, they only have their mouths to investigate things with. But even a gentle, curious nibble from a shark can cause grievous injuries. If you've been injured, you have a few more things to consider as you escape. Firstly, some people recommend that you do not look at your wounds. Of course, that's not so easy. We instinctively try to assess the damage when something as terrifying as a shark attack happens. But if you are severely injured, seeing how bad the injury is can cause you to panic, even more when you should be focusing on getting back to shore and finding help. If it's your arm that is injured, that might actually help you. You can potentially save your life by holding your bleeding arm above your head. This works because keeping a bleeding wound higher than your heart limits blood loss and can prevent your body from going into shock or bleeding out. If you can get back to the beach, then there will probably be someone there who can help you. People usually do notice if there's a shark attack happening, and we know from earlier that most people do survive shark attacks, so you have a good chance if you got this far. You'll hopefully be dining out with your incredible story for years and stealing the show at dinner parties. But let's face it, nobody wants to risk death for a good story. So stay savvy and watch the waters if you're going swimming in the ocean. And always stick close to the shore, just in case. You don't want to have to swim too far if you've just been bitten by jaws.